what would be your comfort level with playing this year out and becoming, an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year? Or how much are you desiring getting an extension this offseason and not having to ever hit free agency and knowing you're a Yankee for the long term?
Man, that's a loaded question right there.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Anzo. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Aaron Judge and whether this is his last season with the Yankees and dissecting the interview that he did on the R2C2 podcast. CC Sabathia and Ryan Ruocco basically run an amazing podcast where they talk about baseball and a bunch of other things that makes it really entertaining. So I had a great time doing research for this video, and so I definitely recommend that you guys check out the full interview. I'm going to link it down below in the description so you guys can take a listen and hear them out. They interviewed Aaron Judge, and we got to see a different side of Aaron Judge where he's just casually talking about the things that we've been wanting to know. In this clip that's coming up, they're talking about Aaron Judge and his possible free agency that's coming up, especially if the Yankees don't offer him an extension.
Especially coming up through the minor leagues, starting your first couple of years in rookie ball, everybody talks about getting a free agency. You want to be a free agent. You want to test the market a little bit, see what's out there. But that's one thing that I've been lucky enough to play in, the best organization, out of all of them, so who wants to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, whatever happens, if we get an extension done at some point before the season starts, that'd be great. And, I'd be completely honored to be able to win pinstripes, for a couple more years. But, if it doesn't happen and this is, my last year, I had a lot of great memories. And, it doesn't matter if it's my last year, first year, I'm going to go out there and play my best and do what I need to do for the city and do what I need to do for the team. But, it's all in God's hands. It's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And, that's why I got agents. I got people taking care of that for me. So I'm not even worried.
It seems like Judge is very well spoken, especially when it comes to the media. He kind of reminds me of Derek Jeter, where whenever he's actually talking with the media, it always comes out really flawlessly. In this next clip, CC actually talks about how he wanted to stay in Cleveland, but he was surprised by the end result.
When I was coming up on that free agent year, if you would have asked me that question, I would have been like, no, I'm staying in Cleveland. This is where I'm going to be. But guess what? Fucking 6 months later, I'm in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of is what it is at this point. You just go out and play hard and try to win and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, he's done everything to put himself in the best position possible.
Yeah.
So now you just go out and play and try to win and see what happens.
In this next clip right here, Judge is actually talking about how this could be his last year in pinstripes.
Yeah, that's what it ultimately comes down to. You got out there and prove it. The ball's in your court. No matter who you are. When it comes to free agency or anything, it's about you putting up the numbers and doing what you need to do and showing that you deserve a contract or deserve to be someone. For me, it makes my job easy. Go out there and do what I need to do to play every single day, be out there on the field, support my teammates, and bring a championship back. This last year, and that's the fun part right there. I ain't got to worry. Like I said, I got people taking care of the business side of it, and I got a job to do on the field.
Then after all that, I really feel like this next part right here is so authentic of a question that I feel like Aaron Judge really actually wanted to know. It wasn't just a question you asked back to the host, just to seem like you're talking back and forth. Judge, I feel like honestly really wanted to hear CC Sabathia's take on his free agency and what he went through.
Yeah, so see, how was that for you? You get traded during that last year, go to Milwaukee in a playoff run, then it's over, and then it's like now what? Or is it kind of, you kind of already had an idea of oh, here's a couple teams that I want to, I'd like to go to? Or
yeah, it wasn't a couple teams I like to go to. I was trying to put Dodger Blue on, cause that was the only thing that was on my mind. After the season ended in Milwaukee, I was like, all right, I'm about to be a Dodger. Let me go look at some houses down in L.A. That's what I thought. And then the first day of free agency, the only offer I got was from New York. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. I don't know if this is going to work out. So it was a harder decision for me to make just coming here. It was just the New York aspect of it. And for you, like you said, you came up here. This is all you've known. And this is the best place that you can play baseball. We all know that. It's just a matter of can you handle it or not. And you being a baby from here and growing up in this is what you know. So for me being a free agent, I didn't know if I could handle it. I didn't know with the A-Rod and Jeter shit, I didn't know if I wanted to be in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear all these different stories about the clubhouse and what you can and can't do, and obviously we know it's different. You know, we know it's just like any other clubhouse. It's a lot more fun, to be honest, but yeah, I didn't know all of that. So I was scared to death, and really Cash was the one that convinced me to come.
It's really interesting to see how CC Sabathia wanted to go to the Dodgers, and he was just like, damn, I have to go to the Yankees because that's the only team that really offered something. I wonder if Judge is starting to visualize that happening. Then they started going a little bit of a different direction. They started talking about Judge's leadership skills, and back in 2017, how Judge actually learned from CC and as well as Brett Gardner.
Like you said, coming up in 16 and 17 and already having some great leaders in the clubhouse, especially with CC there. Gardy was, kind of the veteran position player over there. And, it's kind of leading off those two guys and how they handled big situations, how they handled their teammates, how they talked to their teammates, how they handled rookies coming up, how they handled management, coaching staff. Man, I got a front row seat to see, two of the best in the game do it. Like, that's where I kind of feel like I was lucky enough, those first couple of years to kind of just sit back and watch what CC does, watch how he handles the media, good game, bad game, how is he talking to the media? How is he taking responsibility for it? Or is he blaming his teammates? And every single time, it's my fault. Even though us as an offense, we didn't put up any runs for him, he's still like, what? It's my fault. I shouldn't have given up the one run, this and that. I'll get them next time. I'll keep working hard. Like, just getting a chance to kind of sit back and watch that from afar. It makes my job easy. And then, all the other teammates that we add, one guy I think of is DJ LeMahieu, adding a guy like that who may not be that vocal, but he's a guy that goes out there and works hard every single day. And I can kind of feed off that and watch, okay, this is a guy from a different organization. He's been an all-star, Gold Glover, been in big postseason games, and let's see how he handles it. And for him just to put his head down and work hard, it makes it fun for me coming to the field every single day, being around guys like that. It's certainly evolved, the first couple of years, kind of just stay out of the way, I'm gonna go out there, play in right field, do what I need to do, get my 4 or 5 at bats and, get them tomorrow, but, as, once CC leaves, a couple other veteran guys kind of leave, you got to step up. You got to be that guy. I usually don't like to be vocal, but, there's certain times you got to step up and things need to be said. You got to have a meeting. You got to talk with certain guys. You got to pull guys aside and, just a lot of things that, the camera doesn't see, man. That's the way to do it. That's what I saw from, especially CC and Gardy is they weren't out there yelling at their teammates or pulling a teammate aside in front of the camera for everybody to see. They kind of, it happened behind the scenes. And that's why people, people in the stands don't see that. The media doesn't see that. The leadership skills that they showed me, man, at a young age, that's something I still take with me to this day.
And Judge is kind of being humble there and saying no, I actually learned from CC and Gardy and all that stuff. But CC actually says, no, this is the guy. This is the man. We knew that this was going to be our leader going forward.
In 2017, when at the beginning of that season, I think me and Gardy both looked at each other and was like, this is his clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? We're here to be his, backboard or somebody for him to fall on, but it was his clubhouse right away. The only other person that I've seen that came up that commanded the clubhouse the way Judgy did the first year was Grady Sizemore. And it's because of their play. When you get guys that are that good, they become your leader by default. And just so happens that this guy's got great character. He's a good leader. He came out of college. It was just, it all fell into place perfectly.
And then this next part right here is really interesting because it's what everyone's talking about, especially if you're a Yankees fan, is that Judge could be the next Yankees captain. The last Yankees captain was Derek Jeter. Before that, Don Mattingly. And so, could Judge be the next captain? Well, this is what he said.
It'd be an incredible honor, that would, man, I can't even fathom that, to be honest. When you think about, the past captains, like you said, mentioning Donnie Baseball, G, Munson, a lot of those guys that, the way they represent the pinstripes, represent themselves on the field and grew the game, and the championships. That's another thing. That's one thing that, I'm still searching for, still hunting, in New York, is bringing back the championship because, man, CC would wear us out with the stories of what New York's like after winning the championship, man. He says, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. He says you can still see the confetti, flying down Main Street. And, man, it'd be an incredible honor, but I think, nothing honestly would ever change. I'd still try to hold myself the same way, try to hold myself to the highest standard, be accountable, and be there for my teammates, So I don't think a captain name or no captain name, I'm still going to go out there and just be Aaron Judge and try to be the best leader and teammate I can be every day.
I think out of anyone, Judge has the best chance of being the next Yankees captain. It all depends if the Yankees will actually sign him, though. And then in the interview, they venture off into how in 2017 they were so close to actually making it and how much of an effort it actually takes to get to that point.
After Game 7, I'm like, God dang, we got to do this all over again just to get back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to get back to this point where we just lost. Like, you know how much it's going to take to get back to that? Like, so that shit was crushing, and 17 crushed me. If I could have retired after 17, I would have, just from heartbreak. It was right there, you know what I'm saying? And that was one of the toughest losses I've ever taken in my life.
You got to win for these guys. They gave it their all to try to get you to this point, and they fell short. Well, you got to keep that going. You got to keep that legacy going, man. And that's something that's still always in the back of my mind. I got it in my notes on my phone, looking at it throughout the season and then off season, man.
And one of my favorite parts of the interview is right here, where Aaron Judge describes how he sees it in his mind, where he wins his first World Series championship with the Yankees.
You know, the one thing that always pops in my head, you know, is literally I picture us winning it at home, packed stadium, Game 6. We're at home. I can just picture myself in right field. Wild card games, division games, when you know it's like the last inning, it's the 9th inning, out number 1. You know, you kind of feel the crowd stir a little bit more. All of a sudden it's, you know, ground ball to short, out 2, and you can just kind of feel that. Like I got that. I just have that vision in my head for some reason. Like the first one is going to be at home, like a Game 6 or something, and, you know, just running in, storming the field, dog piling, city going crazy. Hopefully some fans run on the field. Feel like we're in the 70s and 80s, you know? But no, you think about those things, you dream about those things, and that's what, for me, kind of gets me going when it's June 11th and it's a Monday and you got 5,000 fans, you know, and you're playing, it's hot, you know, you're 0 for 3. Like, those are the things that, you know, I think about, like, man, you know what? Like, you got to push through today. You got to win today to get to tomorrow, you know, and that's one thing I always try to think about, like the visualization.
And one of the things that Aaron Judge requires as basically the main leader of the team is that everyone just hustles.
We got an opportunity to win a championship every single year. Like, that's why you should be busting your butt down the line. That's why you should be making the play for your teammate, because this is a special group we got here. This is a special chance we got here. You never know what's going to happen, but we got that opportunity in New York, you know, every single year. So, man, that's effort, man. That's big time.
And we all remember 2017, how heartbreaking it was to see that Yankees team lose to the Astros when the Astros were really just cheating, and the Yankees, that was their year to make it to the World Series and possibly win it all. And here Judge talks about 2017 and how really it was a roller coaster. It wasn't just everything happy, daisies, like flowers and roses and all that stuff. No, it was actually really hard.
Yeah, 17 was crazy. I was like, that's another year. Like, people ask, man, that must have been, you know, you're hitting all these homers. It must have been a great year. It must have felt great every single time you step up to the plate. But like you said, like, there was times, like after the All-Star break, I was the worst player in baseball, man. There was times I didn't even want to step in that box. I'm like, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to walk right back to the dugout. Right field, you know, but, you know, I lean on my teammates a lot, man. I like to, you know, I keep all these notes in my phone, you know, when I'm going good, when I'm going bad, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I just kind of lean back on, you know, past experience. You know, when I was feeling good, what was I thinking? Or like, because there'll be a couple of times where I'll go several games and I'll be like, man, I just don't feel right. Then I'll go back in my notes and be like, you know, well, did I think about this approach? And then I'll get back on that approach, and then things will kind of click. And, you know, another great thing is, you know, just being surrounded by so many great teammates. That's one thing in 17. Like, when I'm struggling, like, I look around and it's like all my teammates are giving 100%, man. They're busting their butts. They know we got something special, man. I can't sit here and pout. I can't sit here and moan and groan about my experience, man. I may be not doing something at the plate. Well, I got to go out there and make a play on defense, you know? So that's one thing that's always helped me, is like having that. I couldn't imagine being a DH. You know, I couldn't imagine being a starting pitcher at times, like just being able to pitch and then that's it. Like, that's, for me, being able to go out on defense and be like, you know what, I'm 0 for 4 today. I'm going to make sure somebody else goes 0 for 4 today too. And just kind of having that and having a short memory kind of keeps me out of those little ruts.
Here, Judge talks about how he gets out of slumps.
Go back to those past experiences when I struggled. Like, hey, I've been here before. You know, I've had those bad moments. You know, you're going to get through it. Just keep working hard. Don't pout about it. Try to learn what you can and then move on. Try to keep learning what you did and move on. And thankfully, we had a good team there too that could kind of carry me through that when I was a mess at the plate then.
He really values the mental side of the game.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've seen is like the mental side of the game is what I feel like separates the big leaguers from, you know, the minor leaguers, and then and even the superstars from just the regular everyday guys, is just their mentality and how they approach the game. And like one thing too is like, as I've kind of noticed over the years, especially going through 162 postseason, you lose in the postseason, like November, like there's like 2 or 3 weeks where it's like literally I don't want to hear baseball. I don't want to see anything on TV. I'm not checking my phone. Like you got to escape from that. And I think that's for me, it kind of helps motivate me to get back into it and gets me going in the offseason, gets me going through during the year, just having that little bit of break where it's like, okay, let me step away from it right now. I don't want to see it. Like, that's the one thing that's always tough too, especially get kicked out of the postseason. Then all you're seeing on TV is a team that beats you playing it at 6 o'clock tonight on Fox, you know, like, man.
And there was a few more clips after that. These were some of my favorite clips of the interview that I felt like brought a lot of value and a lot of insight on how Aaron Judge really sees everything. In my opinion, Judge is a great leader, especially on the Yankees. He really seems like a down-to-earth guy with his foundation and everything else he does besides baseball. He seems like the next Derek Jeter. But the real question is, will the Yankees offer an extension? Will they offer him an 8-year, $250 million contract, which is basically around the ballpark on where Aaron Judge is going to be looking at? That's about $32 million a year for a guy that's about to be 30 this upcoming April. Would you guys offer Judge a contract like that? And keep in mind, there's going to be other teams that are going to be offering if the Yankees do not give an extension. If they give an extension, Judge does not have to test out free agency. But if they wait till free agency, in my opinion, it's goodbye Judge, and this is his last season. Because when it comes to free agency, it's a free-for-all. Any team can come and then just offer him a crazy amount of money, and then he'll be like a Robinson Cano, go to a random team like the Mariners, and that's it. Will a team offer him $300 million? I could see it happening. Will the Yankees offer him $300 million or compete with a team that's offering that? No, I don't think so. But I'm really interested after seeing all these interview clips. I want to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below if you think the Yankees should sign Judge and how much should we offer Judge. As always, make sure to smash that like button. If you enjoyed this video, smash it like Giancarlo Stanton did against the Red Sox with that grand slam. And make sure to use code Anzo, A-N-Z-O, on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. That means $20 off any sporting event or really any concerts or things like that around your area. Who wouldn't want to save money? Make sure to use my code so you can save some money. And make sure to follow me at Anzo Media on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe for more content. I come out with Yankees and baseball content. And if you're looking to binge watch more Yankees or just baseball content, well, check these out right here. I have a playlist and a video that's best suited for you. Guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's amazing to finally hit that goal that I knew in February we would hit. Now here's to more and more videos and hearing you guys out in the comments. Thank you so much. And until next time, you were watching Anzo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.